Welcome back to today's episode on the Raw Grass podcast. So I hope everybody out there is doing great. We have Bryant here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, man. I had to be on this. I saw it and I had to, I have a lot to say. So.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say. So, yeah, this is super cool. Yeah, I was, just online on my phone. He's like, hey, I have to be up on this. And I'm like, well, and I was thinking, I was like, what exactly is, what exactly do you have to offer to help, everybody out there? And I sat back and I was like, a lot, right?
Yeah, I know you don't know all of it, but
yeah.
There's, there have been a lot of challenges in my life that I've overcome, both self-inflicted and just from life itself, So yeah, I don't know, I don't have the attitude like I can help people, but I hope that maybe something I say, something I've been through, something I've learned may help somebody, and if it does, then
if it just helps one person, that's fine. I've already learned stuff from him not to do, I'm like, bro, what the? He's like,
yeah,
the DL.
No, I've been for most people, I'm an open book. I don't have much shame. However, trust is a big thing, and I've trusted you for a long time. So.
On stuff, and we're gonna keep that. Okay. Like right now, we're just gonna talk about love for you, hobbies, certain things you do, and I'm sure there's a lot of like a lot of you out there who are also so like to learn from him, to be open what he has to share, which is what I think we are all here for, to learn certain things, to use what we know and be like, I'm not trying that. That's kind of sketch.
Right.
So yeah, let's just hop into it. I would say not super deep now, how you were brought up, cool. So we're just gonna go after that because you got a lot to share. So I just want to hop into it, like you being in love and stuff, because I know certain things about him. There's a lot of people don't, which is fine. And I'm not someone to go out and say, oh, this person did this one. Right. Like, bro, I don't got time. That's not my business, first of all.
Right.
So,
and that's a good philosophy to have, and I try to keep the same. As far as along the lines of love, I love to love. Like, that is my and be loved. Feel loved. So it has.
Up on a ring? No.
No. Divorced twice, happily.
Okay.
Happily divorced twice.
I'm laughing because it's funny because I know.
The last one was lasted about 14 days.
How does that make sense? Go ahead.
It was it was a wedding that was a misunderstanding. I thought it was a business deal. She thought we were in love, so I'll just leave it at that. It was quick, painless, but needless to say, that is not my usual. Up until this point, I have been a very insecure and my attachment style was anxious, and learning that has benefited me in my current and future relationships greatly. But yeah, I needed it. I had abandonment issues, felt abandoned as a kid, mostly by the Rams when they moved to St. Louis. But no,
you went into sports.
No, but Let's not intermingle these, but no.
Not yet.
Yeah, abandonment issues. So I tended to cling.
Okay.
However, I've always kind of been, I don't know, the stereotype for me that I've heard more than once is player.
Okay, I can see that.
I mean, I get it, and there was a time where it probably was true. At this point, I don't consider it to be reality just because I'm open and honest and ethical. The current girlfriend and I are not technically open, however, it is open to be open. It's open to be open at some point.
How does that make sense, though?
We're both in agreement that that we both understand that at some point in relationships, the two of us both tend to want variety in people, and so we've both agreed that we'll keep open communication and talk, and as long as each of us is honest, I think we're both secure enough people where we could have relations outside the relationship.
That's very interesting.
Or even bring someone in, whatever, Sorry, go ahead.
Wild going on.
I guess.
He's like, yes.
I guess.
See, this is all on you.
It's wild to some people, right?
No,
but to others, it's normal everyday life.
Which is fine, hence why, I wanted to see how you think, because I'm sure there's a lot of people like you, hey babe, we're, open, hey, I met so-and-so, boom, boom. Let's bring them in,
Yeah.
So, no, that's very, very interesting.
The ethical non-monogamy and polyamorous communities are, at this point, I assume there's a large piece of the population who are who live that life.
I didn't know. So it's I would say it's not really kind of out there, because it makes sense. You're like, no, that's not right. You should have one and one, boom, and that's done. Right. That's it. So
that's what society tells us.
Yes.
That's what we've been conditioned to feel and think. I personally feel like that's driven by religion. I'm not anti anything, but it's just not what I feel in here. So, but yeah, you're right. It is kind of hush hush still.
Yeah.
However, if you kind of are part of the community, it's it's everywhere. You see it.
Okay. Okay.
But it is kind of still kept a little hush hush for sure.
So let's just say you were like, okay, I've found one that has it all, and you're in love, and you're like, I'm alright. Is that something you would be like, hey, boom, it's all you, or you you got eyes kind of still?
So it's a case by case, day by day basis, really.
Okay.
And kind of my philosophy in life in general, not just with love or women or whatever, is keep an open mind. I try not to be closed off to any one thing at any time. I know that I change. I change my thoughts, my beliefs over time, aside from my core, values, of course. But, I am never closed off to any idea or anything at any time. I like to think that that if I find someone or something that I believe in, that my mind can be changed on almost anything. So it's key. One of my favorite things to say to tell my kids and people that I interact with closely and love is life is fluid. Life is always changing. It's like that Bruce Lee saying, "Be like water, or be water."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's solid, and yeah, for sure. You know, like, of course, you know, you being how you date and all this kind of stuff. Actually, not really dating yet. We're about to hop into that, but like about love and how you're with somebody. You know, how you were saying we are supposed to be with one, but you have a lot of people who think different, and I didn't even, you know, I guess was open to that, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, you know, which is awesome, you know. So
a big part of that, for me personally, is acceptance. So and acceptance to me being, you know, this is how I want to live my life. This is what's going to make me happy. And you know, obviously our lives are short. You know,
super short.
It feels like a long time, but you know, to quote the Bible, it's but a vapor. So it's like that, and you're done. So I don't see any reason to live unhappy. You know, and so if I'm up front with somebody and I say, look, this is how I want to live, this is my choice, and if they say that doesn't work for them, they don't want to live like that, then so be it. You know, I accept that. It's not meant to be, and we move on.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, but like, you want to go on a date?
Yeah, but you know,
what's up, girl?
No long term, you know, there's no long term, you know, promises, but we can still hook up or whatever.
So I'm not
ends up happening too.
So yeah, I'm not saying, you know, for like us men who are married or are in like a solid relationship to start to kind of be open to this. You know, but oh, hey, but he said, bro, you're gonna get your ass fucking kind of choked out like you're sleeping. You're
Don't you know, if the waters are still, don't test them.
Chilling.
Life, you know. However, in a good, solid relationship, there's open communication and 100% honesty. And so, if this is something that you feel, then you got to discuss it. You know, like. You have to, like, that's how I feel. With my partner, I tell her everything, every single thing.
All right, this is probably too much. So, you know, like with you being open or whatever, is there an option to you have, you know, because I've, like, you know, me being where I am, you know, we've actually spoken about having somebody else, and you know, and of course, you know, like I would want her and like whatever, and then she was like, okay, is there an option for me to have it like
a dude?
Yeah. And I'm like, no. So like for her, she's like, no. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So for you, like to have like a dude.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. There, like I said, there's no shame. There's no shame in my game. I'm not afraid. I'm not, you know, the insecurities for the. I'm not gonna say I'm completely secure, but the insecurities for the most part are dealt with. Yeah. You know, I'm not even afraid to, like, you know, I guess most guys' fear in that kind of situation is like, oh, she's gonna like him more, she's gonna leave me for him. And you know what? At this point in my life, I'm like, if she does, so be it. Yeah. Good for you guys. Like, go be happy or whatever. You know, like I've been through enough where I had my heart broken because and all of that. You were in love. Yeah. I've been heartbroken, and I've experienced heartbreak that has been it felt like at the time devastating, and I've let it kind of pull me down into a place. You know, I've sunk into depression and bad things, but at the same time, you know, when I come out of that, I understand a little bit more about myself, and I understand a little bit more about where I was in order to be left that way. And it's on me. It's on me. It's me having expectations of people, which leads to disappointment. When you have no expectation, you're not disappointed.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, that is so. So, let's probably off subject too a little bit. So, what happens if if all that were to happen? You, a dude, and a girl, or whatever, or all three dudes.
This guy.
No. Whoa. Okay.
Fantasies there.
Oh. No. Okay. Whoa, that's awkward. All right. So like, what happens if you're like you're with her or whatever, and like you got a dude that needs to go to the restroom, but you don't know he needs to go to the restroom, and it so happens to be behind you, and he's like, hey, I'm done, and then you're like, bro, is this foot behind me?
It's easy. It's easy. You just do a 180 and you turn around. So, I mean, not that I want to watch him, but I just don't want to, Hey, and that goes for all of life, not just, when I'm my most vulnerable in the bedroom naked.
So always watch your back.
I always like aware of my surroundings, know what's going on. If most people meet me, they probably think I'm like antisocial because if I'm out in public and I'm around a lot of people I don't know, I tend to be quiet.
Yeah.
Which is not like, if you know me, that's not me, right? Like I'm not a quiet person, but in situations with large crowds, places where I'm not familiar, people I'm not familiar with, I'm quiet. I'm always scanning my surroundings.
So always be aware.
I refuse to be a victim. I don't. I'm not gonna. I always will, or I always try to give myself the best chance. Give myself the best chance for survival, or whatever it may be. But I don't want to get caught with my pants down, so to speak.
Your pants off. Oh, that's too much. That's so awesome. Oh, and it's all on video. Oh,
yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Open book,
Yeah.
There's nothing in my life that I feel I need to hide.
Yeah.
It's my life. I've lived it. I've learned from it. I'm where I am now because of it. So,
yeah.
Whatever. Here it is.
So funny. Yeah, like, so with that, how you're saying, we have to be a certain way, we don't, if you're straight, if you're bi, you want to do this, you're gay, whatever, cool, awesome, be you.
Yep.
Yeah, like you got some people, oh no, I'm supposed to be this way, because like, no, if you know you're a certain way or however, cool, do you, and you don't have to go and get whoever, like they're okay, it's your life, right? So, and that, how you're saying,
I think that is that's a source of a lot of resentment and depression and anxiousness, is approval. Seeking approval, right? Needing validation from an outside source, and B, not necessarily maybe knowing exactly what they want, being undecided, being it tends to, there's the area that's between, stagnant and change, where you have to figure out what it is you want, and for most people change is scary, so you're also you live in that fear too, but and then you have the people who are unhappy with their lives, and so they push their philosophy on people too, so I'm of the mindset, do you, like you say, do you, boo-boo, I'm fully supportive of people living however it is they choose and however it makes them happy, short of harming children, harming animals or harming other people.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, her mantra is take no crap, do no harm. So be you and stand for yourself and be what you believe, but at the same time don't hurt people.
Oh yeah, it's just wrong.
On the way, right?
So I would say to go help those people. You're also people.
Hey, if it makes you happy, yeah, by all means, go for it. There is a drive in me to help people. It's just, it may not be the same way that other people agree with or feel is maybe doing any good, or they may not think that, oh, that's helping people, you're just doing your job or whatever, but I feel like I do my part, and that's what matters, right? Like, at the end of the day, I have to live with me. You don't. Nobody else does.
Yeah, that's super solid. How do you date? Like, I'm sure you're. Oh, actually, so there are like like if you want to do it in person live, if you're just wherever the store you're shopping for whatever. There's that, and then you can do online. Swipe the left, right. Yeah, how does it? Yep, and so yeah, so let's kind of I would say do option A, like
I'm an equal opportunity employer, so I don't close off options, so to speak. If I'm dating, if I'm actively out dating, I'm kind of always open to, always looking, like, and I'm not,
you're always on the hunt.
Not on the hunt. That sounds creepy and but I mean that is kind of human beings, right? Men as we're
I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, we're pretty creepy, but no, I mean, so I'll let you in on a little secret. I tend to, it's fine, whatever. I tend to get pretty crazy anxiety when it comes to like talking to women. I will still do it. I'll force myself to go do it because I know at this point, at almost 40, I've had enough years of experience where thank you. I've had enough years of experience to know that when I do just go talk and be myself, that I'm successful. I tend to, I don't know.
You're like, be weird.
No, I am. Yeah, I can be awkward, but then I turn that into something funny, and
they're like, haha, he's funny,
and they're like, yep. And then
sold.
The panties are gone.
So, okay, so with that, cool. You're on point-ish now. How did it kind of start? You're like, she's beautiful, or you're just like, hey, nope, not going over there? Or
middle school, early high school was awkward. I was like super awkward. I was that boy that would like write a note or something, like, hey, I like you. Do you like me? Yeah, I think you're cute, or something cheesy or stupid or whatever.
Wait, in high school too?
Struck out a lot. High school, not so much. I built my confidence. Freshman year was rough, and I think it just is for everybody. It's just that kind of awkward transition, where you go from being like the oldest kid in the school to then now you're like the youngest, and you're like for me, I was 14, and you're on campus with people, seniors are 17, 18. Yeah. So, but then. By the end of freshman year, I was good. I won't go into details, but my confidence, went from here to. So
is that how you were? You're like, okay, I have to kind of speak to whoever to help you out because you've seen where it would lead, or is it just something you're like, I need to learn this. I see whoever they're with, whoever. How did they do that? And how did that unfold? Or just
it was self-taught, self-learned. It was just a and at risk of sounding like a I don't know,
douche or
I just had to drive to be with these women like that. It started young, like kindergarten, like having crushes on girls, and like I went to a Catholic school and got kicked out for chasing them and lifting their skirts up as a kid, as like a 5-year-old kid, like so.
Well, you weren't 18, so you weren't kind of locked up for that. Because you'd probably get really in trouble. What is that?
Yeah.
I don't even know the terms.
It's sexual assault, so it's serious. Yeah,
yeah, that's wild.
I mean, as a kid,
do not do that because you'll get in trouble.
No, and you know it as a kid, you know, a 5-year-old kid. I didn't understand, right? At that age, and I have kids now, so I see where I was at that point. And I didn't know anything. Know anything, you know. So it was innocent. And at this point now, you know, I respect women, and regardless of, you know, how some may view my lifestyle, I have a lot of respect for any woman who puts up with me, anyone who sits and listens to me talk for any amount of time. I have a lot of respect for them because that shows respect to me. So, you know.
So, well, for me at first it seemed this is gonna be it's gonna be horrible.
No,
so
dump it out.
Like with fruit, like you know how you inspect fruit, and that I see people all the time. They take the fruit and they just toss it. Mm-hmm. Is kind of that how you are were with whoever you were with me? You're like, oh, this is good. I'm gonna use it, and then kind of off to the side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it. I mean, there was, you know, that is a bit disrespectful, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it's almost, but. At the same time, not, because for a long time now, I've been up front and let, you know, most women that I date or even just hook up with know, like, hey, this is not long. I'm gonna get bored, or, you know, whatever. I get bored easily.
Yeah.
I enjoy variety. You know, so I try to be upfront about it, and at least let them know that, you know, not to get their hopes up, not to get expectations up. Mm-hmm. However, there's the other side of that coin where I've just not been, and you know, and
you got hooked.
Just felt either I get hooked and fall in love, and you know, for those reasons. Those ones, there are reasons, and it fills, you know, a void that's inside me and whatever. But I recognize that now, and I understand it, and I, you know, working on it. But then there's the complete opposite side of that, where I just assume that it's known and don't say anything, and then I've just like ghosted or you know, told them, broken up or whatever, and you know, it's kind of a shock to them, or you know, they've, you know, develop feelings or whatever, and I haven't. Yeah, I mean, those pesky things.
Yay, we're humans, we're emotional, yay.
Pesky feelings. Who's got time for that?
Okay, and then option 2 to scroll and
dating apps.
Apps.
Dude, it's almost it's too easy.
Wait, first, so how does it kind of like, how would you kind of do it? Okay, cool. Actually, you can pull your phone. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. So, you know,
I'm not currently on any, so I couldn't show you right now.
So, like, how is it for you? You're like, okay, you look good. Like, how does it see to you, as in you're like, okay, I could be with this person, love, whatever, or you're just like, okay, this is fun, Cool. How do you kind of see that for you to pick?
Definitely, there's no expectation of any kind of long term from just seeing a dating profile, because I know firsthand that not only online but also in the first year of knowing somebody, you're basically putting you're basically not you. People create the best version of themselves in order to entice.
Of course, you have to impress. You got to hook them.
Right. So and that understood. I don't really go into anything expecting any long term. But however, I have been known to fall in love quite quickly. So for me, it's the dating apps. There's no expectation of anything serious. But I can say that it's rare that I decide to, we'll say, swipe right on somebody just by their picture, which is not typical from what I hear. When I mention when I open dialogue or when there's conversation and I mention something that they've said about themselves in their bio or whatever, they're like, "Wow, I'm shocked you read it." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I read bios because I care about. I don't want to be with someone that has like an opposite philosophy of me."
Oh, okay.
Although I'm open to it, I've gone on dates with vegans, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
So in a second, you only eat meat up to a point.
I'm not currently on point on diet, but I am working my way back to it.
So yeah, just eats meat. Cool. I hear it, I see it. At first I was kind of like, bro, like you're gonna have your stuff clogged up, and it's all this kind of stuff. But he was kind of explaining. I was like, huh. But still, I eat like broccoli and shit like that. So I don't give a fuck. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
And right now, so I don't judge. It's like I said, if it's what you choose for your life, do you? However, I understand the benefits of the way of the carnivore diet.
Carnivore.
And it works for me. And
yes, for him. Yeah.
But I'm not currently on it. I've been enjoying a lot of sweets and bad foods for about a year, and I'm ready to actually.
You're like sugar.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. That's the people that say that sugar is the most addictive substance on earth, they are correct, because I am a complete addict.
And you are. I think we're all addicted. You can talk about drugs, all this kind of thing. Yeah, I get it. You hit that high, but it's like an unhealthy high. With sugar, yes, but it's still food. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I don't know the ins and outs of sugar.
So studies have shown that when they look at brain activity, that sugar has the same effect as cocaine in the same area of the brain, and similar, if not more. Don't quote me on this, but similar, if not more, activity or stimulation. Like and the way it was explained to me, or the way I heard it in the beginning, sugar is a fuel source for our body. So
it's a carb.
So we need so our body needs fuel for energy, right? So carbohydrates, sugar. Carbohydrates are turned to sugar, but carbohydrates, sugar. It's like jet fuel.
It's a boost.
It's like jet fuel.
Yeah.
That's how it was explained to me. Fat is the other alternative, and fat is like diesel. So jet fuel, boom, burns quick, hot, gone quick. Diesel burns lower temp. More efficient, more torque, And for me, I've actually felt and lived the difference, and it feels amazing. Like, just honestly, just the clarity of in my mind.
Okay.
The fact that I didn't have to write things down to remember them. The fact that I'd wake up knowing, remembering what I did, what was said, things that I learned, day, weeks prior. Just that benefit alone was amazing. And then I had, I live with joint pain. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", 250. My knees hurt, my hips hurt, I've got like arthritis in my hands from like, doing crazy stuff over the years. So shoulders, I pitched for a long time. So
I used to play ball too. So we're gonna hop into why he likes the LA Dodgers so much.
So just the fact that getting off the sugar and stuff and losing the inflammation
in the joints.
No pain. So anyway, so I'll get back to that. I'm working my way there. Sugar's very addictive. So
it's like pastry.
I'm strong though.
The donuts, and it's so easy. A small little thing, you'd be like, oh, and that's a couple hundred calories. That you won't burn off.
Yeah.
It's like
it's impossible to outwork a bad diet.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, you and I know what we've seen people in on the mats.
Jiu-jitsu.
That
if you're talking about mats.
Obviously, when you get to a certain point, you don't have to exert as much energy, right? You understand more of the game, but you see, I've seen guys that train 4 times a week, that are still big boys, big boys, like, and training jiu-jitsu, sparring,
it's a lot.
6-minute rounds. You go 4 or 5 of those.
Yeah,
you're burning a lot of calories.
Yeah. And at the same time, you have to think. Well, in some cases, if you're good, like really top, you don't really think as much. You just act. But action. But you have to think.
When you're good, and I'm not good, so I don't know this, but I've seen it. So when you're good, you're already 5 moves ahead. It's chess. It's chess with the body, and at that point, you're just doing it's instinct. You're doing what you know, and the other person's just trying to
survive.
Just trying to survive. Literally just trying to survive. That's how I feel at any given moment on the mat. I'm like,
wait, but how long have you trained? Or how long until you haven't trained?
Oh, I haven't trained in. It's been probably 4 years since the last time I trained actually at an academy. And off and on, I don't know, probably a cumulative of, I don't know, maybe a year. Just short bursts of.
Okay.
I was at Carlson Gracie for like 4 months. That was probably my longest stint. I never really committed totally.
But why not? Because of life, kids, or you have all your extra stuff you're doing.
Life. It was life stuff. At the times when I have, I guess, I don't know, sampled it, when I have tried it, it just didn't fit into my life the way I wanted it to. I was making time for
other things.
For other things, yeah. And then, the last one, I kind of felt like I couldn't go back, so that that's a story in and of itself. And I've actually I've spoken with someone who's there, and they told me that it's the contrary, that there's no hard feelings, and
I'm not even sure exactly what happened, so we're gonna skip that.
No, it's
See, it's not my business. I don't try and hop into someone's business like at work. Oh, bro, nope. I don't got time for that. I got my life to worry about.
At work that's a big no for me. You ask anybody that I work with now or that I've worked with in the past, they don't know anything about my personal life. I don't tell them. I don't want to hear what's going on in theirs. We are not friends. I know that's probably not a real popular opinion.
Good. Let's jump on it.
Well, I mean, so it's not a mean thing. It's not a I don't want to be your friend because I don't like you. It's I understand that we're competition, like we're competitors. Like coworkers are literally competitors. No matter how friendly they are, no matter how much they care about me or how I care about them, when it comes down to it, when all boils down, if it's between me or them for whatever it is, promotion, whatever, or keeping a job.
Okay.
It's dog eat dog.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I get fired, they're happy to step into my place, right? So I'm not gonna give anyone any kind of advantage in the workplace.
But how about, okay, I can see that if you're trying to hop on something or if you're just trying to stay low key, but how about at a job where you're not gonna get promoted or there's no way to get promoted and you're just smooth sailing? Yeah, I'm not gonna say any jobs, but
well, so in my opinion, there is no job that can't be lost, right? There's always something that can be done, and especially in today's world, the cancel culture, where they even go back, people are losing their livelihoods for things they said or did 20 years ago. So you can't be too careful. My career, my job is I won't say it's priority number one, but it's high up there. So I am very, very cautious about what I share, what I do. I don't talk about my personal life.
Cool.
And like you say, like, it's none of my business what their personal life is either.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, don't talk to me, I don't want to hear it.
Of course.
If somebody that's my coworker comes to me and trusts me and wants to talk to me or wants my opinion, I'll share it. But
yeah. But you just won't overly share.
It's a censored version. Yeah.
It's like, oh, I was with this person. They're here now, but I was with this person, but this person, and then my kid, and then it's like, it's like, bro, I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, this job is this job. I'm like, okay, we'll change it. Well, this job. So you're trying to stay. Like, what is I see it. Okay, cool. But what are you trying to do to help your life out? Just kind of hush hush because you don't know who's around the corner. Like, oh, shit, that's the superintendent, and they already don't like you. They're like, oh, you did, oh, So it's kind of like hush hush. You just kind of show up, be you, be up, have your work done, and.
Absolutely. I don't.
That's it.
I don't change who I am for any audience. In a professional manner, an environment, I don't. I present myself in a professional way.
Of course.
I like to think that I kind of present myself that way for the most part in all of life. However, I am a little rough around the edges. So that I smooth those edges out for the professional environment, but for the most part, I am me. Wherever you may come across me, I'll be the same me. Same mannerisms, same philosophies. I believe in being genuine, being yourself. I see it all too often where people put on a different face for different situations, and it's almost comical to me. But I also feel bad for them because I'm like, wow, you're so unhappy with your life that you feel you have to be someone else. You have to portray yourself as someone else. Like,
yeah, it's like, oh, you were that person in church, but then you went over and you were at a rave or something
or whatever. Whatever it may be. Like, you're like, be you.
Yeah. No
matter what it is, if you believe, like I said, aside from being, a child molester or or harming animals or people, which that's a whole different mental illness and stuff. But
do not do that, please.
Yeah, don't do that. But
Yes,
I have a special place in my heart for those people. That little bit of jiu-jitsu I do. No. You know, but be you, like, be authentically you always, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for some people because you have some people who want to impress people with, you know, you bought something and you're trying to impress them. Like, bro, I know how much you make. Why would you go do that? Like, you know, I'm like, no, I know who you are,
right?
But yet you're trying to go be somebody else. Right. That's crazy. So let's talk about your favorite subject, the law.
Yeah. So, I mean, laws are laws for a reason.
Yes.
And I believe, you know, my first belief is that a society of, you know, of well-raised, respectful people will govern itself.
Easy. Yeah.
But that's not the case.
We're humans.
And we're humans. We have a government that, you know, while it was founded in a way that was supposed to be whatever, this perfect thing, you know, where there's checks and balances, it's become something where, you know, they can take advantage, and politicians end up.
I'm not trying to go into politics. This is not a politics.
No, it's not political, but it goes along the lines of the law, and so we have laws that are created that are laws that are created to keep people, you know, to lock people up. Prison system that has been privatized to make people money. You know, I could go down a whole rabbit hole, and I guess it's a conspiracy theory, but it's reality. And so while I'm not like against the law, I do understand that there are laws that are not just, not humane. There are people who uphold the law who are not righteous people. I've met good cops, I've met good lawyers, I've met good judges, DAs. However,
on the other side,
the justice, I see how the justice system, and especially the portion of it that enforces law, attracts a certain type of person where having power over other people is attractive to them, and they crave it. Again, not making a general blanket statement. There are, you know, I appreciate and respect the people who go and put their lives on the line to
every day
actually help people, right? That is, it's more than I do.
Oh, for sure, that's more than I do. It's for sure.
However, my job is enforcement of, but not penal codes, safety regulations. But so I'm not going to put myself on their level, but I understand. I somewhat understand the job of enforcing, because I that's what I do. But I've dealt with more of the second type in my life than the first. So
is that because you were doing bad things?
Yeah.
Well,
I won't. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I was never doing anything wrong and was harassed.
All of us, yeah.
However, there are certain rights that, regardless of how you live your life, even if you're breaking the law, you have rights as a human being.
Well, here in America.
And here in America, I've experienced and seen, those rights violated.
So with that, I have heard from somebody who is in law enforcement. So, you do have some people who are just sitting there with the camera. Oh, you were so hard on that person. And I was like, okay, I see that. And they're like, boom, you get down quick. And I'm like, oh, this fool's bleeding. Okay. And then, so from that, I was told, okay, but us being, just not sure what's happening, that law enforcement officer, a cop, they have already seen that person 3 times and was that person, they had a knife and they tried to stab this like the cop. So for us to see on the outside, not knowing what was happening,
not understanding the context.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's like, yeah, but they aren't, like them being like law enforcement officer aren't there to be like, oh yeah, this guy tried. No,
right.
Just go away. Let's handle business how we see fit. But yes, of course, you have some people who don't know. They aren't trained as much to hold somebody on the ground, having their knee up on their neck for X amount of time. It's like, bro, you don't know what's going on. You're dumb. I'm sorry, but you're dumb.
I fully understand and support the use of some force with certain situations and people. There's got to be a balance, right? I understand that at any given time when they're on the job or even not on the job, that their life's on the line, that they don't know who they're typically they don't know who they're dealing with. They have to assume that this person could harm them. And I fully support them, the deadly force if needed, use of force, and there are limits. If someone's already handcuffed or someone's already subdued or somebody's giving themselves up, there's no need to harm them, right? However, they do have to show dominance. That's in any animals, humans. We have to show dominance, but it's the ones like you said that where someone's got the knee on the neck and the person's already subdued.
R.I.P. Floyd, the George Floyd.
And I heard this, Rogan is a huge name, and I listen to his podcast. I've listened to a lot.
Wait, who?
Joe Rogan.
I got you.
And him and I forget who, a couple of his guests, 10th Planet Black Belts, but they're
awesome people.
He says instead of a college degree, police officers should all be at least purple belts in jiu-jitsu. And I agree with that because not only does that come with a level of confidence, right? So when you have that level of confidence, you have a certain respect for people. You don't
100%.
You don't, you step on that mat and you don't think I'm gonna work this person, anyone, right? Like because you've experienced, especially by the time you're a purple belt, I would imagine you've experienced enough beatings. Yeah, you've been beaten down. You've been choked unconscious if you don't tap. You've been choked out by women, like smaller women who have more skill or more time in it, and so you understand that anybody at any time could subdue you,
could kill you.
But at the same time, with a purple belt, you would have the knowledge and the confidence to know, like, okay, I know that I don't need to harm this person. I don't have this insecurity where I need to exert this violence or dominance on this person because they're whatever it is, drug addict, drug dealer, whatever it may be. And one thing that I have kind of taken from religion is forgiveness. No matter what, everybody can change if they want to. And if someone shows that, apologies are not just words, they're actions. So if somebody shows me that they want to change, I'm open to it. So that kind of goes along the line in that, how my philosophy for that job is not to, even if you've dealt with this person, you've locked them up 20 times, that last time could have been it, and could have been eye-opening, and I've been in that position where I lived a certain way and decided that, okay, I don't want to go to prison.
Yeah.
And changed my life, changed the course of my life because of that, because of the threat of that. And so I feel like, you know, there's no real excuse for violating basic human rights. And I just you know, not that I preach, you know, I don't really preach it. I used to be kind of vocal about it, but I've quieted down a bit. But I just choose not to associate with those kind of people and try not to have any contact with them.
But I thought you were in the club.
The law enforcement?
No, the other club.
Oh, motorcycle club.
Yeah. Hopping into that.
Yes.